Hi chat, welcome in everyone. How are we doing today? Happy Monday to you. Hello Will. Hello Mama's House Gaming. Welcome in M1. Hello Cosmic. Mama's House, you have to type !scramble to join in for each round of the scramble, otherwise it doesn't recognize your entries. Yeah, there was a little bit, I had a vote in the Discord. There was a little bit of a controversy slash, I mean, I guess he's still alive, someone could just ask him. But it sounded like from the White House chef that it was a margarita-style pizza with cheeseburger toppings put on top of it. Whereas you look at many, like, pizzeria places, their cheeseburger pizza, they sub the tomato sauce out for ketchup and mustard. Chat voted in the Discord that we're going to do a tomato base and a little bit and less tomato and mustard, or ketchup and mustard. Welcome in, Nanrader. And we also got this stock over on the stove. Still, it's still sort of bubbling away. It was bubbling earlier. We're going to shut that off now and let that cool. And so I'm not going to be very glamorous about my tomato sauce. I'm just going to blitz up some canned tomatoes that I have here with some oregano, and I think I have freeze-dried basil. A little garlic powder, maybe. Or is that too extravagant for pizza sauce? Everything's still a mess from yesterday's all-day stream. I tried to keep up, but I didn't. And so, there's still a half dozen dishes in the sink right now. Thank you, Will. I just sort of cooked a whole lot. I'm debating. Well, it's a lot more ways too. I'm debating switching to packets for sugar with my coffee because it would be measured same set amount. Welcome, Lorenzo. We are unfortunately going to have to deal with a little bit of chicken stock before we get to the pizza. But it is on the plan for today. Just getting started. Welcome, welcome. Hello, JK. They're pricey. So there are other possibilities here that I am debating when it comes to cheeseburger pizza. Hi, Master of Splits. Our theme week inventor of this week. But anyways, we've done the one I already asked in Discord as far as what we're going to do for the base of the pizza. But now that we're using tomato as the base of our pizza, the question is, do we do ketchup and mustard? Or do we combine ketchup and mustard with mayo and make a sort of ad hoc sandwich sauce slash special sauce slash Thousand Island slash Big Boy sauce slash and the other one is, do we make it a bacon cheeseburger? Which I don't think is authentic to W. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Cheers. So I am going to throw these leek tops that I had saved from yesterday into the stock now, just to sit as it cools down. Which is going to break and disturb the top of our stock, but at this point, less concerned. We're going to give that 10-15 minutes. In the meantime, we'll start prepping some of our other stuff for the pizza that we can sort of do ahead of time. I think number one on that list, cheddar cheese. I would get the dough out here, but I want to save table space for bagging stock. I already have mozzarella that's already been shredded. So we're doing mozzarella and cheddar for this. I get the stringiness and the pull from the mozzarella. Flavor from the cheddar. It also files under I have cheddar in my house, and American would have been added separate purchase. Just like I also asked chat if I should make a special run just to get some iceberg lettuce to throw on the top of this, and chat voted no to that as well. I didn't give chat very long in Discord to do that though, because it was a 1 hour vote because I had to go shopping if I was going to do that. Although Discord's options for how long you can have a poll, it leaves some to desire. Like it's like 1 hour, 4 hour, 8 hour, 24 hour, multi-day, multi-week. Just let me set a custom. Let's see what that was. Nothing important. So I'm going to move this out of the way. And we're going to put another pot right next to this one. Which I'm going to have to clean out. The dishes, they never stop. Hey, Zeus. No, this is relatively clean. I put this away clean, but it's been sitting over there next to the trash, so it is not exactly still clean. So we're just giving it a little light scrub to get any dust or anything that got into it out. I don't normally dry things out, but I don't want to add the soap or the water to the finished stock, so. Getting my strainers out. Hi, chat. And lastly, where is my big boy ladle? Oh, we lost the camera. Over here. All right. First break into our batch of chicken stock. And thank you, Mama's Gaming. Whoops. Supposed to do that in studio mode. We're going to clean off this area here and utilize all of this space for bagging. I'm about to mute your phone. Yeah, Master of Splits, I think Dad had some plans for Junior. Okay. This will get me started at least. Actually, that won't really get me started. Please don't hit the light. I don't know where the labels are on this thing. Hi, Ozzy. Hey, chat, it's an unboxing. Hi, Noema. It's an unboxing, chat. What's in the box? There's bags in the box. There's lots of bags in the box. Why so many bags? I used to sell stock. Awesome splits. Oh, it feels good. You can take it even further than that, Will, considering I was working out of a mobile trailer. Not that, well, technically all trailers are mobile if they're still... But you get what I mean. I hope. Give my hands a wash after. All those years and I never found something good for, like, opening these things out so that they're easy to fill. I'm forgetting a crucial step here. Actually, it's one of two crucial steps to me. Welcome, Head of Broccoli. Tongs, if you're trying to go fast, they just go to the pinched ends. Path of easiest, path of least resistance. Yeah, we're still a bit warm here. I want this to be another 10 degrees cooler or so before I start throwing this into thin plastic. Actually, well, I want it below 170. I would add ice, but ice makes it taste watered down because you've got the temperature, at least in my opinion, adding water until the temperatures equalize tastes watered down. I don't think it's worth the money in gas to do it these days. But what I used to do when I was doing stock for myself before my business at home was I would make this stock and then I would reduce this stock to a demi and freeze the demi. But it's so much extra work. I ended up using it like regular stock all the time when I shouldn't have been. I'd put all that time and effort into it. Surprised I don't have an ice wand? Yeah, I never got into ice ones because on a trailer you can't really keep ice. I didn't have a freezer to keep ice. I had to buy all of my ice too because I didn't have an ice maker. Didn't have a freezer to freeze the ones in. It's a very complex logistical system when you get into moving a kitchen. Like a lot, it's glamorized a lot more than it should be, because it's a very low entry cost to get into a food business, but everything else about it is more expensive. Everything. Here in California, you're required to legally use a commissary, which, they just also happen to have all the snacks and chips that all the taco trucks carry, all the, they have ice for you to buy, they have gas for you to buy for your propane, they have all just conveniently there at a markup. And then when you go to restock, do you have a separate vehicle that you're going to go and do your restocking with? Or are you going to be driving your taco truck or your trailer to Smart and Vinyl or Cash and Carry or Restaurant Depot? Or Costco or Sam's Club or whatever warehouse club? And it makes me furious that there's people in this county that straight up just flaunt their disregard for it, too. Like, I'm not gonna name names, but there are trucks that I have seen parked, private residences. I have seen trucks parked as a restaurant, essentially. I've seen there's several trucks that will park in one place all week long and only show up at the commissary once a week, when legally they have to be there once every 24 hours. It's just... And then you get into the laziness at the commissary, because you have the outdoor cleaning area that they're required to have for you to clean the outdoor exterior of your taco truck with. And then you sit there and watch them clean their cilantro in the same sink. Sonoma County, California. And it actually even gets worse than that, chat. If for the people that are really desperate and really want to get into the food business, then you get into the rentals. Like, you don't even have to buy the taco truck. You can rent the taco truck. Which was the big hit with, like, that's how Koji made its name. Koji working with Roadstows, which is in LA, or is or was, I don't know if it still exists or not, like, blew up so many trucks because they made the brilliant plan of, let's wrap our taco trucks and make them one giant advertisement. Because before Roadstows, they were basically painting all of them. And so they could wrap it, have it be a non-permanent name on that truck, and rent it to people, and, add another overhead charge on them. Almost there, another couple of degrees. Yeah, it was raining pretty good as I was setting up for stream today. It seems to have stopped. Like, I should have gone and looked outside. Like, it was perfect rainbow setup. Like, the sun had all of a sudden decided it was gonna shine like mad. And it was pouring. You're not seeing it there, but I'm getting like 66, 67 over here. No. It had so many headwinds and things that I never even got into that we're ever going to. Actually, well, it depends on your definition of that. Like, week to week, it was paying back money that, I was doing 75-ish, 70% of it on its own. But yeah, no. At the same time, I'm glad that I didn't get stuck into a 5-year lease that was unreasonable. I actually talked to many people over the years about spaces because I couldn't stand the whole commissary thing. I wanted to get away from that as soon as possible. And I had decent turnover of cash with all the other things I was doing along with it. But I haven't made anything off of streaming either. I mean, I get somewhere in the ballpark, depending on how things are going, anywhere from 50 to 150 from all the various sources. But compared to the hardware I've bought, all of the stuff I've put into this, the monthly subscriptions for things like music and like that, work fine dining places. It's a rough industry to be in right now. It's a really rough to be, like, they're gonna want to, in most cases, hire cheap immigrant labor that has been working over anyone that wants to learn. Learning costs them money. They don't want to spend money. And the industry is changing so much right now with how things are heading. I would think that private dining is probably where it's to be right now as far as fine dining. Because it's maybe the 1% of the 1% since COVID. It's not the 1% anymore. Of course, I see job listings for private stuff, and it just makes me cringe too, because a lot of those are like, okay, we want you to work part-time 6 hours. Make us dinner 5-6 days a week. But you only need to come in 3 or 4, and we only really expect you to be working a couple hours. We're not going to count the time you're going to have to spend sourcing ingredients or shopping, or there so many of them I see, and they're through the Culinary Institute. I think they're just looking for cheap college labor or something. Why did I start a timer? That said, they're still probably offering 40, 50, 60K a year, but I sort of think, 120 is about break even if you want a solid full-time job, which is certainly not the average in the country. It's certainly not what people are getting. Hi, Alex. Something I sort of love and hate about this house, and will definitely probably miss and not miss about this place, is several of the vents. Even though I know they have good tops on them, I can hear it pinging. I don't know if it's hitting against the side up above the roof or what, but yeah. So like when it rains, I can hear it through. Which is good, it means that vent probably goes to the outside. Not just venting my oven into the attic. Drinking this, the stock? This would be amazing. It's still a little warm to be drinking it, though, but... Chat, do you prefer the channel point buttons or the commands? Because whenever I get around to fixing and changing things, it's a choice. Okay, I'll keep it as a channel point. The problem with the chat commands is they can't use the channel points then. I'm not really trying to, redeem channel points from those, but I've mostly got my channel points set up so that, I think the important and things that are more scurry to the stream require at least a little watching. But beyond that, I'm not... Eating more. Need the more. Got a good gloss on this stock. I think we had a ton of gelatin in it. Despite not using chicken feet this time. One of the best things I have found as an adult in this world is a heated bed. I love a heating pad on my bed, and they make ones now that wrap your entire bed. They have chilling ones too. At least I think they do. It might be just that they don't heat. I don't know. Oh yeah, now I remember. The cooling one's more like it's an air conditioner that's designed to just blow air underneath the bed. And Alex, it's not necessarily a matter of comfort for sleeping, although my bedroom can get a little bit cooler. It's also pain management thing, pinched nerve, sort of constant chronic pain situations. They're quite lovely. We go strain the rest of this stock now over on the stove. Quit it. You're the newest light bulb in this kitchen. You shouldn't be dying. Just stop. Rough estimate, anywhere from 3 to 6 months. That's a bit heavy to be pouring still. But we are beyond the point that I want to keep using this lovely because it is cracking. It's just spot welded on there. So I try and just use this for the real liquid stuff and not deal with the bones or anything with that. That's what I bought these for a while ago. And I have these in the house now. Oh, I don't think these are going to fall apart from dealing with bones. Blinking even more now to spite me. We're getting there, Master of Splits. We're getting there. Stock's taking a moment. Okay, I think we're done with you, little pop. We can clean you up real quick. Get rid of you. Yeah, light bulbs have always been a racket. There was quite seriously a group that controlled light bulbs and controlled the length of them so that you have to rebuy them. So now we're gonna hold this up for as long as we can to drip out as much as possible. I might be mistaken, but I believe my grandparents' porch light, one of my grandparents' porch lights, they had their house built when they moved in, and that porch light outlived them. Like, my mom grew up in that house. Pretty sure it was still working when they sold the place. Then again, maybe someone would have plucked that up just because of how well it was living. Like, they can make light bulbs that last essentially forever. I mean, that one firehouse with the continuously on light bulb for how long? Yep, that one's a little over. Oh well. I would have lowered that if it was my business, but I don't care anymore. I would have broken out the 1 ounce ladle and the second batch of stock or the second straining of the stock, this has got all the particulate in it. If you look at the two compared, one's like crystal clear and these are a bit cloudier. This is the last of the first batch. And this is the first of the second batch. Like, I don't know if you can tell that or not. But this is considerably cloudier. This has got more oil on top of it too, but that's because it's the first bag of the bunch. I don't remember if I have or not. I don't think I have. I've definitely done consomme raft before on several occasions, both business and school. But, well, extern in school. Chat, I have a protest. I make this protest pretty regularly, but I care to repeat it since we're talking about consomme. Birria tacos are amazing. Stop calling the liquid consomme. Oh, hey, Dances. Sneaking in here, not noticing. Just because I'm answering questions doesn't mean I'm paying attention who I'm talking to. Both knows. I would say hold its cat ears, but my experience with trying to hold cat ears is they flick them out of the way pretty successfully. What's going in the bag, Softy? This is the chicken stock that I've been working on. I did a 7-hour stream yesterday cooking this, and now we've strained it, and now I'm bagging it all to be frozen in my essentially empty freezer at this point. Welcome in. A little bit over on that one too. Oops. Wow, we went through a whole thing of bags. I think we got one more here. Well, I guess we're a little bit under on that last one. Oh. Still a little bit under on that last one. Okay, now we gotta seal all of them. So, sorry to angle cam, but we're gonna have to turn angle cam off for a moment here. It technically has a battery, but as old as it is, I don't know if that battery still works or not. Or how long it would last trying to run on it. Three cups. 8 ounces in a cup. Checking we got a good seal on that. We can turn you up a little bit. This might be slightly more viscous, but by water, the viscosity of water, it's the same. So you get nice, full, solid seals there versus the first one. We got a whole bunch more bubbles in there. Didn't quite get enough heat. It sealed, but wasn't the best. let's see, what if we compared it to milk, what would the difference be? I don't know if there is that much of a difference that it's marked in this or not. Let's see. It's probably not enough of a difference that they even mention it. No, I think they just assume all liquids are like water here. Wow. That's not accurate for being an accuracy thing. Wow, those prices too. Those prices are not accurate in any way, sort of form anymore. When was this written? 2012. Yeah, those prices. $88 count of apples for less than $30. This would be, by the way, chat, if you're in the industry, a great cheat. If you're doing pricing, if you're doing ordering. Broccoli. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that rain we had earlier. It was coming down. Of course, half the time when it's raining here, it doesn't even show up because there be hills or something in the way from their sensor readings, I think. Let's get the bags out of the way since we're done with those. We're almost on to pizza, chat. Almost there. Things went smoother yesterday than I anticipated, and stock is taking longer than anticipated to portion and seal up tonight. So I guess we're making up for yesterday. No, I'm going to use it here on stream. Don't sell any of it anymore. Like I said, this is only going to be 3-6 months worth of stock for me. Considering all the soups we do on Mondays all the time, and how I use it in my soups and my rices, and or my sauces and my rices. Yeah, I want to say it wasn't too long ago that I did a batch last. It was like maybe November, December. Might even have been late December. These are going in the freezer. But removing the vast majority of the air. This machine does nothing. This is just a non-stick surface on this side here. This has got a mesh that makes it, this is like a Teflon mesh. Teflon coated mesh. And then underneath that, you can see one end of it here tightened down. One of it here, one end of it here. You've got this wire that when I push down on this, it actuates and heats up for the time that's set to the dial on the very end of it here. So it's just melting the plastic together in a controlled fashion, so that it's now completely sealed, and there's still some air in there, but the majority of the air is out of that bag, and so it's less likely to spoil. In addition, the fat that I leave in my stocks, if there is air bubbles, if the fat rises to the top, the fat is actually it's what's going to spoil first, but it's also going to protect the rest of the stock. You can see it's actually folded over on its own just from the heat. Yeah, head of broccoli, maybe 6 months in the freezer. I've certainly kept them longer than that, but that's the longest I would promise anyone. You just got to sort of think of the freezer as not really stopping anything, it's just slowing things. Like, the stuff you put in the freezer is still, first off, just putting it in the freezer and freezing it, in many cases, the ice crystals breaking cell walls and all that sort of a thing degrades whatever you're freezing. But it still degrades sitting there in the freezer. It just does it a lot slower. And so no matter how long you like, it's never going to be as good as it is right now. And so that does that. How many bags we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Yes. It does kill some things. It does... Yeah. Especially when it comes to fish and things living in things. Let's see what we got left in the freezer here to deal with. Oh, we can get rid of this. 5 bananas. Sweat that getting warm. So we're going to quick throw these over here in the other freezer. Say hi to my plant, chat. Speaking of that, we can probably pull a couple of these out. These are more than a year old. Oh, why am I pulling these? I can't pull these out. I'm putting things in the freezer. Moving all this stuff from my refrigerator freezer to chest freezer so that the stock doesn't warm all of them massively. Because, chat, putting warm stock in your freezer, especially a home freezer. Over here, camera. Over here. There we go. Plant going back. Ugh. What is that scramble? Yeah, broccoli. Okay, so now we got freezer that I really should probably clean out. One fun project after another. Hey, chat? Oh, you can't even see me now. How awesome. Over here, camera. I'm I don't know what got in my freezer and leaked. There's something in here that's on the bottom of the freezer. I think my camera drinks most evenings. Let's turn the ice off. That's already a block of ice, so we're not going to worry about that. Okay, now we're going to stack this freezer full of very warm stock. Which, sorry freezer, sorry refrigerator. You weren't designed for this, but this is how I treat you. I lay them flat so that they freeze nicely in one direction, and once they're frozen it doesn't really matter. Though, since I freeze them all together like this, they tend to lock together anyways, and they just sort of stay where they are in many cases. Well, I just moved everything from here into my chest freezer. I'm just using this instead of my chest freezer to cool it down. Might as well leave one down in the fridge. And stock is done, chat. Well, other than the cleanup that's going to happen off stream with those giant stock pots behind me. Yep, I have a chest freezer right in front of me here. That's how I broke down a long time ago, before most of you hung out with me. I've broken down three halves of pigs. I ordered 2 at once, and so there was one stream where I essentially broke down the whole pig minus the head and offal. And yeah, I think it was more. Was it 25? 20 something, 25, 28. You're right there. And then another time I just got a half pig again without the offal or head. And so I've done that before. I've rendered down all the fat. I've broken it all down. It's something I'll probably end up doing again here at some point. I really need to get another quarter of beef, though. That's next on the list. Which sounds just about perfect, Dances, considering evaporation. I made pizza dough yesterday. So this is how pizza dough from yesterday turned out. Like soft enough that I'm making indents from its weight on my hand. Okay, so we got our cheddar, mozzarella, we're set. We need beef. I guess you go over here, and you go over here. Where did you go, beef? There you are. Got about a half pound of beef, whatever's left over that I didn't use yesterday for the lasagna, which was delicious. And I haven't gotten the other half. I had leftover mac and cheese for lunch today. Salt. Got a little bit of oil in that pan, but you're not able to see at the moment. There we go. A little bit of oil in there. The speckles you see in there may be a little salt that came off of me trying to salt that over the top of it. And give that a little bit longer to warm up. Not the prettiest beef. I've had it in the house for a minute. I was supposed to make the lasagna soup on Monday. Last Monday. Hi, Dinner with Mom. Welcome, Raiders. Hi, I'm Chef JT. We're making cheeseburger pie tonight. Pizza pie. Welcome in, everyone. I'm just sauteing up some beef for my cheeseburger pizza. I've spent a good portion of the stream up until now portioning up the chicken stock that I made on yesterday's 7+ hour stream. Where are we coming from, everyone? What was Dinner with Mom cooking tonight? What are you all salivating over? I have made pizzas with lettuce dances with felines, and I actually had a vote in Discord for an hour. It was only an hour, but I asked Discord if it was worth going out shopping to put lettuce on this pizza, and chat voted no. It was actually potentially in the plans, but we're not doing that. Chicken piccata meatballs with pasta? Chicken meatballs. But for those of you who may have been in here yesterday, we just wrapped up bagging my homemade chicken stock. It's still nice and warm. I've emptied out my freezer for chilling these down. Welcome in, Chaser. And so this week, so today starting this week, so Monday, Friday, and Sunday in the stream this week's schedule, Master of Splits has challenged me to do dishes that were favorites of past U.S. presidents. Tonight we're doing George W. Bush's cheeseburger pizza. And so Friday we're doing, chicken fried steak with mashed potatoes and gravy for LBJ. And Sunday we have beef stew for, is it Eisenhower? Yeah, Eisenhower. I chose the dishes. I looked at what famous dishes presidents have, because there's some, you got to consider, while compared to the rest of the world, the U.S. is a relatively new nation. There's some old stuff that's a little bit, I could deal without a boiled dinner. So the theme was posed, and then the idea with the themes is you get some say in what I'm doing and an influence in what I'm doing, but it keeps me from, having a week of caviar or, extremely extravagant, super expensive stuff that I can't afford. Great example. Yeah, I have no desire to have squirrel soup. It almost looks like I'm cooking burgers right now, but that's just loose meat that I haven't broken up yet. Enjoy dinner with Mom. Thank you so much for the raid. A little garlic in there with our beef. Flame off on that just for a quick moment where I locate my knife. Hey, Ozzy. Okay, flame back on the stove. I used to wear an apron on stream all the time. I've given up on that now. I'm just cooking at home. Having any theme is fun. Gives me a challenge, something knock me out of the rut of just walk over here and grab a can of tomatoes while we're at that. Back over here, camera. Blend into the blender. We got tomatoes, fair amount of freeze-dried basil going in. Dried oregano. Garlic. Worcestershire. Turn the flame down considerably. And we're going to mute for blending this. What am I cooking in that big pot? Nothing anymore. I was making stock in that pot, and so that's the leftover, the solids from making stock. And I just finished bagging it. I have my freezer emptied out other than really the stock so that I can cool it down. It's not the best way to treat your freezer. But I have made this lovely liquid and 25 bags or so of it to use for the next couple of months around my home. Very happy with the color on that stock this time around, by the way, chat. Okay, bit more pepper because I like pepper. And my pepper grinder's almost done for, so. Because there's not enough MSG in tomatoes naturally. Okay, so we got our tomato sauce. I'm just going to leave it, and that'll be fine to pour directly out of that onto the pizzas. I just splashed myself what else we missing here? We need our mozzarella. We need our pickles. I'm of the opinion that we should chop up these pickles. I've done pickled pizzas with pickles. I love pickles on pizza. But in this case, I don't think I want large pickles. I think I want a spreading of pickles. Did it still say chicken stock from... Did it not update my... Did it just update my title now, chat? I hope I haven't had the wrong title for the majority of this stream. So this is the last of the pickles I have in this container, so we're going to use all of them. Thank you, M1. Okay, so pickles are ready to go on. I don't remember what Hoppin' John's is, but I know I've made it before. I think I made it in school. Like, I don't think I made it at the CIA either. I think I made it at the culinary school I went to before the CIA. and get her oven heating from making her pizzas now. Max heat on the oven, which for my oven is only 525. We're going to pull the stone out and give it a quick scrape. Make sure it's free of excess from what else ever has happened in my oven. It's a little dirty now. Isn't Hoppin' John's like beans or something like that? I can't remember what. It's driving me nuts now. I'm gonna Google it just so that. Carolina peas and rice, okay. We don't do Papa John's here. Papa John's, as far as I know, does... Ozzy will be able to answer these questions for you. As far as I know, they're just pre-cooked, pre-fully made pizza company. So let's go ahead and start spreading out our dough a bit here. At least getting it pizza shaped a bit more. It is still quite chilly. It is not warmed up really at all. I'm not a fan of Papa John's sauce. Their sauce doesn't do it for me. I do know from very good sources that they at least use some decent tomatoes in their tomato sauce. Doesn't change the way I don't like their sauce. Although, also, to be honest with Papa John's, the last time I had Papa John's, Papa John was still part of the company. He sort of got me too'd out of there. Alright, we'll let those rest again. Make sure they got a coat of flour on the bottom so they don't stick. Mix sauce. We need to make sauce. We got sour cream. We got mayo. Ketchup. I made the dough yesterday. It's yeast-based dough, somewhere 50% hydration-ish. And I basically mixed it, gave it maybe 20 minutes on the counter, and then put it in the fridge. And that is what we got. Well, there's some question as to what that is, Master of Splits. I put that in the Discord and asked people which way we should go about this. Best potential source that I have read is White House Chef. Not necessarily, they didn't put a name to it. Says it is a margarita with cheeseburger pizza toppings on top of it. Versus what cheeseburger pizza is in most pizzerias, which is they're using this almost as their base instead of a tomato sauce. They wouldn't. It's the ones that I've read were just mustard and ketchup without the sour cream or mayo or anything in there, but I wish I had more pickles to add some relish into this, but so I'm not 100% sure what the exact recipe on this pizza is. I'm trying to honor it. Maybe we need W to speak up. Is W out there? I would, of course, call him president to his face if I actually thought he was actually listening. But no, we're just doing pizza tonight. It's not... I've done pizza several times before, but I change up what I do regularly. I do stream here 4 nights a week, so it's always changing up what's going on. Well, that's all in your practice of stretching it out and getting that dough that's relaxed enough that you can make crazy huge pizzas with it. These are already, I'm pretty sure, are going to be okay for my action once they rest once more, because those are basically halfway there already. After all, this is about same size as my pizza stone. And these are almost halfway there already. Might as well leave that out. Yeast doesn't expand, it makes gas. Yeast is gassy, chat. We feed yeast sugar and it farts out CO2, so we trap that using gluten in bread or in booze to make beer. Carbonation in beer. Carbonation in wine, too. Yes, chat, when you're eating bread, you're eating yeast farts. Tasty in beer too, right? That yeast flavor you get in beer. Still just sort of waiting on the bread here, chat. I think we got pretty much everything here. I need to grab the mozzarella. Wherever I have that hidden now. Tzims or Tzims. You can be spelled with either a Z or an S. This is just straight off of Google. Is a traditional Ashenkazi Jewish stew, typically made from carrots and dried fruits such as prunes or raisins, often combined with other root vegetables. It's got a Wikipedia page. Your actual cornmeal. Add cornmeal to our peel since I'm going to build these on my peel. Absolutely not the way I have ever made. The way I make pizzas at home is absolutely not the way I have ever made a pizza in any restaurant. Really, head of broccoli? Not the up balloon? Not the up house? Did I stop the music? No, we're still playing. Okay. We up the temp, we're still waiting on the oven to heat up anyways. Eee. High-pitched nail on a chalkboard noise. I did consider adding bacon, chat. I did consider... I decided bacon was probably not authentic to W. Let's see, what are we cooking on Wednesday? Wednesday, for any new in here, I do ingredient challenges every Wednesday. And it looks like we're working with ramen on Wednesday. Bananas have lost out to ramen. If you would like to have a say in next week's ingredient challenge, I will have a new vote up here later. And you can make your suggestions in the channel just below that. You see the name there, ingredient suggestions. You can add your own suggestions. The ones that get the most votes make it the main one. Keep wondering what's on the stove, smelling a little roasty toasty, too cooked, and then turn around and realize, oh, oven preheating for pizza. Glass noodles are nice, and they make a beautiful presentation. They just don't have the chew. They don't have the pull. They don't have the chew. They don't have the texture. They don't have everything that like everyone raves about their own family recipe for noodles. Yeah, I still don't understand. Like that's never worked for me. Like, glass noodles, like, turn into a starch blob for me. Sort of confused by that one. Even if you're using... Oh, there goes the book. Even if you're using mung bean starch. Wash my hands. Okay, oven's up to temp here. Let's start building our first pie. I can see light through that now. I don't know if you probably... It's pretty thin, though. It's almost see enough that you can almost see the red in my shirt. Yeah, you can sort of see the board through that almost. Pretty thin on the bottom of that. It's better. Alright. And then mozzarella. Cheddar. Beef and onions. And I think I'm going to leave the rest for after. We're going to use these two as garnish once it comes out. Yellow cheddar on a pizza because it's cheeseburger pizza. And because I didn't feel like buying American separate when I already had good cheddar in the house. But we got a slide going on there with our pizza, so this is going to transfer easily. We'll get rid of the excess cornmeal on the outside here so that doesn't end up, as much of that doesn't end up in my oven. And down on in it goes. We're making cheeseburger pizza, which is a combination of pizza and cheeseburger. So, unless you have objections to cheddar on your burger, I think it sort of fits here. I know people have some other preferences for cheeses for their burgers. We got any Swiss or blue cheese fanatics in chat? I'll take blue cheese, please. I love me a burger with all the toppings on it. But I also love me a blue cheese caramelized onion. Maybe bacon burger. Bacon if you really want to taste it for the rest of the evening. Never been a huge Swiss fan. I don't hate Swiss, it's just not my choice. Oh hey, I should have set a timer for that. We'll take a look at it in 9 minutes. It's typically an 11-minute bake for my pizzas. Again, I haven't made this dough before at home, so I don't know specifics on this dough for sure. Not 100% what we're going to get out of this dinner tonight, but hey, that's sort of par for the course here. What are those? Are those cheeses? Are they types of burgers? Oh, okay. That sounds tasty. Yeah, the question is whether that dream's a fantasy or a nightmare. Sort of works in both cases. Not so well in between. Does it count if you're wearing more clothes than underwear, or you just have to have underwear on while you're drinking? Details. Semantics can matter. I mean, after all, I'm at home. I'm wearing underwear. We got cheese in the oven. Cheers. Do I count? Make another pizza. I can only do one at a time though, because I only have one thin board for putting them in and out. So we're waiting on the first one to be done before we can start on the second. Ooh, are cats disqualifying? Are you no longer alone? Yeah, Splits. That's more of a cost and worth my time thing. Like, doing one pizza, getting all this stuff out, doing all this stuff. And I need food for tomorrow, too. I mean, I got lasagna soup and pork tenderloin still chilling in the fridge, but I wrapped up the mac and cheese today. We're making progress. The mac and cheese that I made off stream and tempted everyone with in the Discord, but never showed anyone. It was just this evaporated goat milk and cooked pasta. It wasn't very fancy, chat. How much is the time there? Well, right now it's an ad, and it's 7:17 here, according to my microwave clock. We've got 2 minutes and 40 seconds on the pizza for our first check. Negroni. Coffee Negroni. Coffee with burnt orange? That sounds delicious. That is actually the first time, chat, that the automatic ads actually sort of lined up with things here. This is almost perfect because we got just about that amount of time on the pizza in the oven. Gotta find some reason to use up that vermouth before it goes. Like, that's the biggest problem with making Negronis, is going through a bottle of sweet vermouth. Otherwise, I love Negronis. Let's see what we got down here. Whoa, we got some pizza. With a solid bottom. It's a little oily. It's a little... The cheddar cheese be not perhaps the greatest pizza cheese, but that looks sort of yummy to me. Let's work on the next pizza before we finish the first one. Ah, we got a hole. We got breakage. Try and seal up those little cracks. Was it with tomato soup? I thought it was just grilled cheese. I thought about making it with tomato soup because, I mean, you make grilled cheese, you sort of... Making a stream, like, I've joked about that before, about streamers that make a, 3-4 hour stream and all they do is grill cheese. I would feel sort of bad making a stream where I did nothing but grilled cheese. At least as a food and drink streamer. Well, I'm actually doing LBG Love Barbecue, but he's also known for loving country fried steak with mash and gravy. And that's what I am making on Friday. So we're sliding. Okay, now for this one to finish her up. So this is our special sauce, or ketchup, mustard, mayo. Pickles. And then if you wanted to put some lettuce on top of there, you could. If you want to put some fresh tomatoes on top of there, you could. Most of the recipes I saw had cherry tomatoes also on this dish. I hate cherry tomatoes. Well, hate is a strong term. Cherry tomatoes are all skin and no flavor. So you think a couple minutes out of the oven this is going to have crunch when I cut this, chat? You think we got a solid bottom here? Ah, I just got myself, chat. Be right back. What are you looking at, camera? What's so exciting over there? I'm okay with it because you're not looking at my finger right now. Yeah, it's a bit big. We can use smaller band-aids here. You look about right. Almost back, chop. Is it echoey in here? What are you looking at? Over here, camera. Yeah, over here. Now what are you looking at? What are you... What's so exciting over there, camera? Now you find me. Okay. Alright, we're back. I cut my finger. I cut my finger on the back edge of... Cut my finger on the back edge of the knife here. How we looking here, pizza? We're doing well. Got another 4 minutes on that one. And I'm so tempted to break into that, but I want to take a photo of both of them together. Nice broccoli. Bumper asparagus crop. I'm almost through my asparagus. I was surprised by that. Like, that was a big bag. That was like a double bunch of asparagus compared to what I normally buy. And yeah, it's lasted me at least 4 dinners now. But we're down to, like, just little, like, 1 serving worth. I had a broccoli. I'm reading about your cherry tomatoes. Yeah. Like, someone else buy them and put them on a salad, and they're mildly okay. I want no part of paying for them. They're just all skin. They're like, I feel that way about grapes too. It's sort of surprising that I don't feel that way about cherries, considering they even have a pit on top of that, but they don't have that super thick skin that grapes and grape cherries and cherry tomatoes and... No, don't want them. Sell them to me as wine instead. Sell them to me as sauce instead. Their flavor's so great, turn them into sauce. Baby potatoes are amazing. Easiest side dish known to man. Just toss them in oil and seasoning and throw them in the oven. Baby potatoes are amazing. Welcome in on Ryo-san. Last minute on our second pizza. Last minute. I don't know what your stash is, but yes. Yeah, I don't like old school cherry flavoring. Some of the more modern cherry flavors are a lot better, but the old school ones all remind me of cough syrup. Absolutely on Ryo. However, as I was saying earlier, the way I make pizza at home is in no way anywhere close to any way I have ever made it in a restaurant. Restaurants had all sorts of cheats and easy things to do it uniformly and commonly. I've got these sort of oval so that they fit my pizza stones about that size. And so we're making rectangular pizzas that are thin enough that they broke through. We have a failure on our second pizza, chat. It got too thin. No, we're just going to leave it on this one since it's too big. Hey, Chaos. But same thing, I'm going to sort of do a swirl of the sandwich sauce or burger sauce that I made, the mayo mustard ketchup. I'm going to throw the last of our the place that I did the most cooking of pizzas was probably the most hacky of the places that I have done it. They had what's known as a pizza press, where you could take. They bought their. It was a pretty commercial location. We went through a lot of pizza. I was doing several hundred pizzas a night at that place on busy nights. They would take just frozen pizza dough balls already done up. They'd defrost them overnight in the refrigerator, and they had a machine, and both for making flatbreads and for making the pizzas, you just, once it's a defrosted ball, you just push down on it. It's got a form that makes it the perfect circle, so it presses the dough out, and then the top of it is heated. And so that sort of half sears. It doesn't put any color on it, but it like white sears the dough on the bottom. So you can then flip that out. That's now your bottom. It's not going to stick to anything. And you have a perfectly formed sized pizza that's uniform one after another, so that people looking at the pizza next to them on the same table, it's not a different size. There's so many things that you have to account for that I don't care about at home. Like, I don't care that that's not uniformly a circle. It'd look a little bit better on stream. But we got a little hole stuck to the pizza oven there. Pizza stone there. So let's give this a shot, chat. And I didn't take a photo of it before I bit into it, but it's a tasty sandwich. Chad, if you eat your pizza like this, is it a sandwich? W. I'm doing favorites of past presidents in the U.S. here this week. Messer Split sponsored that. You can do that by hanging out here in chat, getting 7,500 sprinkles. Takes a minute. You know, it's going to be a couple of months of watching the stream in order to get enough to do a sponsored week. And so this is one of George W. Bush's listed publicly known favorite dishes. Sounds like the most political dish you could come up with here in America, combining hamburgers and pizza. It's sort of like a non-answer in my mind. It's delicious, though. And so that is the plan for tonight. We have made that. We have country fried steak with mash and gravy on Friday coming up. And then we've got beef stew on Sunday. Awesome, Splits. I appreciate that. I went rather thin with my crust tonight, Head of Broccoli. Like, this one broke through. It was so thin. I can completely understand that. I'm not a huge thick... On occasion, there's some thick crust that I like. I love me a Detroit-style pizza. I need an excuse to make Detroit-style pizzas on stream. I've got the right pan for it. So Friday, chicken fried steak. But before Friday, we have Wednesday. Wednesday we're going to be doing ingredient challenge night. And I am going to have to make dinner and dessert using Chat's Choice and Discord ramen. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to get Fresca for Friday too, apparently. But I have no idea if I can even find it locally. I have no idea if they even sell it anymore. Nice broccoli. So I hope you all come back to join me. I hope you had a good time tonight. I had a great time. Have a great week. I hope the start to your week has been great and it continues to be. Good night.